Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is Why Is Everybody Yelling? Growing Up in My Immigrant Family by Marisabina Russo. This is a really fascinating graphic novel. I'm kind of still trying to take it all in and figure it all out. So it's about Marisabina, goes by Cookie, and her family. Now, this is a girl who is raised Catholic and I'd say maybe a little before first grade or so, finds out that her family is actually Jewish. She didn't pick up on the fact that they're all speaking Yiddish, that a lot of them practice Jewish customs, but she's Jewish, and her family background is they're European Jews caught up in the Holocaust. They moved to the U.S. after the war. I'm trying to find life there. This is a graphic novel that takes place from the 50s to I think the 60s. Yeah, it's like up to the 60s, and it takes you through her life, through school. A year at a time, basically through each chapter, kind of touching on the important stuff and her attempt to balance this really interesting life, especially one for like the 50s and 60s. So she has two half brothers. Her father abandons her before she's even born, and all her life is, and her mother is very, I don't know how to describe her mother. Very interesting mother, but a little kind of overbearing, also kind of a little flaky in some ways. Just a very interesting woman. But this graphic novel is kind of all about Cookie attempting to find her identity, especially after she discovers she's Jewish. She for a while wants to be a nun. For a while she wants to be a saint. And it's interesting is like there's this weird balance of this girl born in the United States kind of clashing with this European family, this traditional European family. I don't even call it traditional, but this European family who kind of somewhat stuck in old ways, not quite totally sold on, just accepting that you can be whoever. Her half brothers, like one's very, we'll call him bohemian. I'm pretty sure he was closeted and gay at the time. Is never quite confirmed. He does have girlfriends, but it's only after he's sent to a mental hospital. He winds up going on to Europe and like being a poet and artist and doing films with Velvet Underground. He talks to his sister saying her sin is being born in the United States. She has another brother who's a doctor that he seems to have his act a little bit more together. But overall, it's just this really kind of her life growing up in this really chaotic, interesting family. And the whole thing is just her, I think, trying to discover who she is. And it's really kind of an interesting story in that, while she's not an immigrant, her mother, her aunt, her grandmother, they all are. And it's really kind of this story of that first generation Americans trying to put that flag down as to who they are, breaking, both accepting and breaking away from the old ways. And what's interesting is that Cookie, when it comes to the old ways, is Catholicism what she's embraces, and it's not the Judaism, it's not her family history for the most part. It's Catholicism, and it's a really interesting read. It's a graphic memoir. It goes through her life, the ups and downs, and it's kind of a fascinating thing. Like there's some reflection of like the world and the time and some major events, but like as a whole, I'm not quite sure. It's interesting. It's really, really interesting. And like overall, I don't know if there's quite the reflection on someone raised Catholic that's actually Jewish as I hoped it would be when I went into it. But I think there's also kind of just a really interesting theme underneath of like what makes up who you are. And I think that's kind of the point of it. Is it the genetics? Is it the blood running through her veins? Is it her family history? Or is it what she experiences? And I think that's kind of the point. It seems to be the point as she figures that out. The art is good. The style is interesting. That it kind of blends both like a book memoir and comic. Like you can see the panels. There's some slight, some slight storytelling through the panels, but there's also a lot of narration and just regular lettering and dialogue, and that plays throughout the graphic novel. Like the actual panels rarely are the ones that drive a lot of the story. It's the narration that really kind of pulls it through. It's a fascinating graphic memoir. Really interesting. Not quite what I expected, and definitely one that I think if you're interested in history and immigration, all that, like it's an interesting one to read. You can get it. It's out now in comic shops and bookstores. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code. Tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so we get a small percentage by doing that. You help support our site. I want to thank... I want to get the publisher right. Don't want to screw this up. Farrar Straus Giroux for hooking us up with the review copy. Appreciate that, and thank you all for watching. If you're into graphic novels, if you're into comics, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics, and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.